This is not particularly the fanciest class, but I think it's important for all of us to develop this ability to hold guys down. So the first pinning position is what we typically do just from a standard side control position. So I'm on top, I'm maintaining control. Where should my knees be, my chest be, my back? Typically we want our chest squared in the center so you're making almost a perpendicular angle between the lining of his chest and your chest. I'm going to shoot my shoulder blades back to help reinforce pressure going downward, and I'm locked on in a palm-to-palm position right over my shoulders, like my training partner's far shoulder. Notice that my knees are inside, right? So we have a left knee in on the shoulder, right knee in on the hip. So I blocked off his body with these series of wedges between my elbows and my knees. So this is the typical Jiu-Jitsu pinning position that we find. We'll take it a step further. So we all know this. Well, some of you are just getting good at this, but this is where it's at, right? Far side underhook. But even if you have masterful wedges, guys can figure out ways to get their elbows inside and create space. So let's reinforce the position. This is what, I don't even want to put this on film, but I'm putting it on film. But it's already out there for my instructor already put it out there, so I'm going to put it out there. But this will pin every man down. I'm going to lift his head off the mat, and I'm going to put my palm right under his back, the upper back. From here, we're going to compress our chest down onto our training partner's chest. And notice what my left hand does now. My left hand's going to start to walk away from my training partner's head. So we're working almost towards his elbow. There's no way I can describe to you the pressure until you do it and feel it yourself. Yeah, I won't do it justice. But I'm creating a third wedge where I'm creating a sandwich between my hand, the mat, and his chest, right? And my chest rather. So now he's completely pinned out. Can you try to move here? It's very, very difficult. Now if he was able to control, rather deviate in any way side to side with his head, he would probably be able to flip his hip. Right? If you can move your head, eventually you'll be able to move your hip. So that's why we do this. That's why we walk our hand away and we don't go palm to palm. It's because now I have his head in such an oblong position that moving his hip away from me is virtually impossible. So this is the pinning position. So again, not the fanciest technique, move set today, but you're going to be able to hold guys down. So this is our standard side control position when we're pinning a guy down. From here we're going to elevate, so it's going to be a karate chop on the neck, a pin on the back, and then we're compressing straight down. From here we're working our hand against the temple, right under the ear, temple, ear area, and from here we're going to stop. But I want you to experiment with a few different details. My right knee, my right elbow, right? The mat and my chest. I want you to really feel all the different pressure points that are working. All right, that'll be the first movement. Let's give it a try, guys. On three. 1, 2. We'll build more context. Now, I wasn't able to get to my pin. If you're able to get to our pattern pinning position, you won't be able to get out of it, so you don't have to worry about nothing. But in the event that, he gets an underhook on this side, what's the first thing I do? He underhooks me with this far side arm. The first thing we do with our right arm is we block the near side hip. Okay, so what this does is it creates a barrier between his knee and my hip, which is exactly what he wants to do. He wants to get his left knee on the inside of your hip. That's what he's looking to do every time. So from here, I'm going to bring my left arm to my training partner's head and create a wedge between my left elbow and my left knee. See what I just did there? So now his arm is canceled out. In this case, his right arm is canceled out. And obviously from this position, he's completely vulnerable. He's not able to do very much. He can't use his underhook. This is where everyone goes wrong when they put their training partner in this reverse sort of side control position, is they don't control the far shoulder quite enough. What do we talk about when we're in top, whether we're mounted or in half guard or side control? What's the number one theme that we talk about quite a bit? Chest pressure, but inside control.
Something else.
The noose, the head control is crucial. Head control, which is it leads to shoulder pinning. Shoulder pinning, very big. So I put him in a box. We call this the box. Only in this gym. It's the only time you'll ever hear it called a box. Put him in a box. He gets up to his shrimps. He gets to his side. I had head control though. I had head control, but he still got up to his side. Right? That's why head control is a great buzzword. It's a great buzz statement, but it's not really everything. The main key is shoulder pinning. Head control is a means of pinning the shoulders, but shoulders overrides everything. So we're going to put our chest over the far depth, here and here. My shoulder blades go back, and I keep my hand on the mat, tacky on the mat. Don't grab. Move your knee now. Everywhere he moves, I follow now. We don't want that. We want a tacky grip on the mat. See how it's stuck? Now when he goes to move his leg, he's locked out. So now come up to your side. All I have to do is lean my head forward and his shoulders are now pinned to the mat. Okay? Let's look at that again. Chris does a good job of getting his underhook in. That's the recipe right there. He's doing a great job. If we stay here, we're in trouble. So we move the hand to the near side and we put our hand on the mat, tacky on the mat. Left elbow goes to the far side ear, and then we create the wedge that I just discussed, where we create head pinning. Now we need shoulder pinning. So we put our chest a little bit higher towards the far shoulder, and depending on his reaction, whether he's coming up into me, which is typically what he'll do, he rarely will turn away from me, we're gonna lean our forehead towards the mat. If he comes into me, he raises the shoulder, we lean, okay? And it's all about pinning. Now I'm in a position where I can start attacking my training partner's arm, etc. Different attacks, darces, whatever. A lot of options for us to play with in this position. A smart jiu-jitsu guy is not going to keep his arm here, so he pulls his arm out. Boom. Here and here. What do? We go underhook. We go back around the head. We lift him. We lift him. We put the wedge back in, and we put him back in hell. Now he's pinned. By the grace of God, he moves around well. He gets his underhook back in. Tacky. Elbow pin. Head control. Shoulder pin. Depending on his reaction, which will typically be far shoulder to the ceiling, we go forehead to the mat. Go ahead, far shoulder to the ceiling, forehead to the mat. He pulls his arm out, elbow in, far side underhook, head control, lift, back pin, hold him in position. So now we have a bit more of a system to work with, guys, all right? 1, 2, 3.